I would just like to take this time to say that I'm a gold star bisexual. That gold star has nothing to do with my sexuality. I just really think that I deserve one. So,
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about the left's attack on free speech, as allegedly Reddit is trying to ban the use of the term groomer because apparently that is hate speech. That is hate speech towards LGBTQ people, according to Reddit. Okay, even though I've heard the term groomer be used for basically anybody that tries to indoctrinate children into their sexual gender ideology, regardless of whether or not they're part of the LGBTQ community, right? But for whatever reason, the left, it seems they're the ones that want to associate the word groomer, or the term groomer, with the LGBTQ community. I don't automatically associate it with that. What I associate it with is somebody that is actively grooming, right? That is what I associate it with. Okay, but again, for whatever reason, the left's pursuit of trying to ban speech that they don't like has led them to try to, again, ban words from the English vocabulary, which we shouldn't be surprised that Reddit is doing this. It probably means that the other social media platforms will eventually do it as well. And the crazy part about this is that they only do it for a specific group of people, okay? It's not like they ever do it for people on the right or conservatives or white people who are routinely called white supremacists, okay, and other slurs used to describe them. That is not accurate, right? Just the same way describing LGBTQ people as groomers is not accurate, okay? Describing every white person as a white supremacist or inherently racist, or that they have white privilege just because they're white, just because of their skin color, yeah, that's not accurate as well too, but that is used as a slur way more than the term groomer is used as a slur against LGBTQ people. But however, they will never ban the use of the term white supremacist or the C word or any term that offends white people. It's kind of funny how that works. It's kind of funny how only a certain group of people get this type of special protection, and then they want to cry and complain about how they don't have any power in our society, which really blows my mind because they actually won't address the issue, right? An issue that is really costing the Democrat Party votes, right? It is actually really turning a lot of people off from the left. It is making people realize that these people are absolutely insane, okay? Which is the issue of teachers that are actively trying to push their sexual and gender ideology on students in school instead of trying to go after those teachers and to make sure that they're actually doing their jobs, which is to teach their students reading, writing, math, what they're actually paid to teach their kids. No. We're just going to ban words, right? Because words are harmful, right? Words are violent. Words are hate speech. Let's not actually really address the issue that 90% of society agrees is wrong, okay? Especially when you got teachers out here that are continuing to still post TikToks like this that basically show a step-by-step tutorial or guide on how this particular teacher likes to indoctrinate her third graders in elementary school. Take a look.
I am an openly queer teacher. Now, I don't stand in front of my elementary students and be like, I like women, but I wear a bi flag watch band, bi flag bracelets. In my classroom, I keep a rainbow flag. It's got Mickey Mouse on it because I love Mickey, but it's got a rainbow. My kids know what it means. This is me telling them I am a safe place to talk without making a big deal out of being queer. Side note, I shaved the side of my head. Love it! Okay, going back to the main topic. Anyway, so because I am openly queer, my students trust me, especially my queer students. I teach 5th grade this next school year. I've been teaching 4th grade for the last 4 years. Anyway, right now I'm teaching summer school and I have 3rd graders. Like I said, I wear these bracelets to let them know I'm a safe space. 2 3rd grade students came to me and asked me to use they, them pronouns, and also asked me if I could tell other teachers this. I said, kiddos, I would love to do that for you. I'm so glad that you trusted me with this information. One student in particular also asked to use a different name, one that is not gendered as what they were born as. So I gave this information to the other teachers and then got scolded because that was not appropriate for me to communicate, at least not in the form of communication that I used. I used the main form of communication that we had within these groups of teachers. And I hear today, after I have already communicated this with them multiple times, these teachers are still misgendering these students and still using the wrong name for the one who asked for a different name. I don't care what you believe, but when you refuse to respect a queer child's request for pronoun and name changes, you are hurting them.
Yeah, so same old, right? Nothing new there, nothing we haven't heard before, okay? But in this video, I'm going to drive home a point about what the Democrat Party is fighting for and what they want to declare war against our institutions over. That is kind of what they want, right? That's what they've been saying lately. But before I get into that, I got to give my same old usual talking points here about this teacher, because again, these people, I don't know why, for the life of me, they decide to record this stuff and post it on the internet, right? You're openly recording and admitting that you are indoctrinating kids into your sexual and gender ideology, okay? This person says that they're openly queer. Why do we need to know that? Why do kids need to know that? Who knows, okay? But she says it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal, but yet she wears queer bracelets, right? Rainbow flag bracelets, rainbow this, rainbow that, okay, to her students, because she wants her students to know that this is a safe space, okay, that they can talk to her about anything, including their sexual ideology or gender identity, which, you know, I have no clue how they developed that in third grade, right, to the point where kids can identify as queer, but for whatever reason, that's a thing. Probably because she's openly talking to them about it and trying to push that on them, right? But again, these people, right, on the left, they would rather ban the use of the term groomer, right, instead of actually address the people on their side that are actively indoctrinating kids into this ideology, okay, that is making the LGBT community look bad, right? That is making people use that label and to inappropriately use that label against them, right? Instead of addressing the extremists on their side that are doing this, no, we want to ban words like that's going to make it better, right? Like that's going to make people actually agree with this stuff. You know, just keep calling people transphobe, calling them bigots, telling them that if you don't agree with me, right, I don't care what you believe, if you don't want to respect this queer child's pronouns, we're talking about 5 and 6, 7-year-olds here, you're being violent towards them. You're harming them. And I don't care what you believe. It's all about what I believe, okay? Me, 1% of the population, okay? And if you don't bend over to me, then therefore you're a bigot, right? They think that that's what's going to win people over, okay? It might win over corporate America, but it's not going to win over the average taxpayer, okay? And those are the people who actually matter, right? As the Democrat Party, right? This is the point I want to drive home here. The mainstream liberal media lately, okay? I've done some videos about Tiffany Cross, Malcolm Nance, Eli Mastall. They've come out here and openly ranted against the Supreme Court, okay? In the sense that they're saying that we need to have a civil war, right? That is what they're saying. We need to have a civil war because the Supreme Court is allowing states to be states, right? They're allowing states to be states. And I made the argument in those videos that back then when we initially had our first civil war, right? We had a civil war because we had people that were literally being enslaved, okay? Human beings were owning other human beings, and that wasn't right. There was not enough federal government, okay? There was not enough federal government. Nowadays, there's too much federal government, okay? And that is probably what's going to lead us to a civil war, if there is a civil war, okay? Too much federal government not letting states be states. I mean, Joe Biden basically just had a executive order blocked by a Trump judge in which he basically tried to impose gender ideology in bathrooms in schools across the country, okay? Trying to implement gender-neutral bathrooms and stuff like that. Again, ridiculous stuff, right? Obvious overreach from the executive branch. Again, thank God we have judges in place to block that stuff. Because unlike what Tiffany Cross and Eli Mastall and Malcolm Nance are saying about how they want to go to war, they want a civil war because the government can't be more authoritarian, the Supreme Court pushing these issues back to the states, right, and making this a state issue and keeping these things state issues is actually what's going to stop us from having civil wars. Because people with common sense are not going to stand for this, right? They're not going to stand for sending their kids to school and having teachers like this teacher right there try to indoctrinate their children into their ideology. They're not going to stand for it. They're not going to. They've already risen up against it. And if you had a federal government that said, no, we must allow teachers like this to indoctrinate kids in school, yeah, I don't think that parents would stand for it. I think that is actually what would drive us into a civil war, right? That is actually what would drive us into a civil war. What's not going to drive us into a civil war is the federal government not having enough power. No, because you're not fighting for people to not be slaves anymore, right? You're not fighting for people's freedoms. You're fighting for the right to indoctrinate children, okay? You're fighting for the right of biological males to compete against biological women in sport. You're literally fighting for legalized domestic violence, okay? Referencing the video I did earlier today about how a biological male, a trans woman fighter, beat the crap out of a biological woman and bragged about cracking her skull. Bragged about it. This is what the left is fighting for. This is what they're saying that we might need to tear down our institutions over because the federal government doesn't have enough authority to protect those rights, right? This is what they're fighting for. Again, it blows my mind. Thank God that we have a conservative Supreme Court that is making these state issues, because red states, I don't think they would go for this, right? If they were mandated to allow this stuff, right? I don't even think a lot of parents in blue states even agree with this, okay? I think 60, 70, 80, 90% of the country is against this. Evidence by the fact that even Democrats support Ron DeSantis' so-called Don't Say Gay bill, aka the Parental Rights and Education bill, because they know that this is too far, right? This is lunacy, but this has become mainstream in the Democrat Party. This is a mainstream thing that they support, right? They support this. And if you don't support it, then they say that you're a bigot, right? You're against gay people. You're against LGBTQ rights, okay? This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying, okay? They're telling parents that, hey, if you don't want your children to learn about, queer people, right, and LGBTQ issues and, sexual ideology and stuff like that in school, you're a bigot, right? You're a bigot. And they're willing to tear down our institutions over this, right? Because the federal government is unable to stop states from banning teachers from doing this, for doing the will of the people that live in their state. Again, it blows my mind what the modern day Democrat Party stands for. It really does, right? But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.